All right, hey friends, this is Xander Fryer from Shit You Don't Learn in College, and today we're going to talk about the 80-20 rule and how to implement it as an entrepreneur to grow your business. See, what most people don't understand is being busy and being productive are not the same thing. We all have the same 24 hours in a day in any given day. How come someone like Elon Musk or Oprah Winfrey or Jeff Bezos can have such a massive impact and the rest of us normies are struggling just to make ends meet and just get shit done, right? Now, it's not about the things that you do, though that is the first step. You have to do things, right? It's about doing things that actually produce results. Being busy and being productive are not the same thing. And that's what the 80-20 rule is actually all about. This is also known as Pareto's Principle. Now, Pareto found, this is back in Italy, I don't even know, some centuries ago. Pareto found out that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the people, right? Now, we've seen this phenomenon throughout every area in history as well. From world GDP, 80% of world GDP is held by 20% of the people. We've seen it in software engineering. 80% of the code, 20% of the code will result in 80% of the functionality. And 20% of the bug fixes, Microsoft actually found out, result in 80% of cleaning things up. Now, this is even seen in nature. Crops like bean sprouts. 20% of bean sprout crops will actually produce 80% of the yield. 80% of your stress is caused by 20% of the stressors. This is a phenomenon that is seen throughout the world in every area, but when you learn how to understand it better, you can start to implement it in your daily life and in your business to be more productive and not just busy. So I'm going to share 3 tips to implement the 80-20 rule for you today so you can get better results. Now, step number 1 to implementing the 80-20 rule, and you might not like this. Remember, done is better than perfect. The one resource that you can never get back is your time. All right, done is better than perfect, and the one resource you can never get back is your time. Now, you're taught through school that you have one shot, right? You have one shot, and you better get as close to perfect as possible. You have one shot at the test, you have one shot at your project, and you need to make sure that you're getting as close to an A as possible. Now, what most people don't realize is 20% of the effort will actually get you a B-. And 80% of the effort, 80% of the work is what gets you that last 20%, that last B- to a B+, B+ to an A-, A- to an A+. But in life, and specifically in business, it's a lot better to get something done than to try and get it perfect the first time so that you can move forward and learn, take feedback, and grow. Forbes recently did a study, and what they found is the high majority of the most successful entrepreneurs are actually, guess it, C students. Why? Because they're good at doing good enough work to get products, get services, get things out there. In the end, success loves speed, and you have to be okay with doing 80% successful rather than trying to get things perfect every time. Now, the second way that you can implement the 80-20 rule to be more successful is what I call the Sharon Principle. Now, I call this the Sharon Principle because Sharon Srivatsa is a good friend of mine, and he's the former CEO of TELUS Real Estate. Now, he grew TELUS Real Estate from $300 million to $3.4 billion over the course of 5 years and sold the company. Now, that's impressive, but even more impressive, he did this entire thing while suffering some serious health issues, and he spent nearly an entire year working 1 hour a day. So the Sharon Principle, what he figured out, he said, okay, how do I continue to grow this business even if I'm only allowed to work 1 hour a day? And he found the 4 things that if he were to do those 4 things in that 1 hour a day every single day, it would allow him to still be successful and grow the business. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think, if you could only work 1 day a week, what would you do? If you would only work Mondays, what would you have to do Mondays to ensure that you still got results? What would you have to get done on that Monday to ensure that you still got results in your business or in your career? Now, actually run this exercise. Go do this exercise. Go spend 20 minutes on this. And once you come up with something, you should now spend 4 days a week doing just that. If you can spend 80% of your time focusing on the 20% of things that actually produce 80% of results, well, then you're actually going to get 4 times 80 is, what is that, 320? You're going to get 320% of the results, right? A great example of this is when I used to work for Cisco. When I used to work for Cisco, I actually held the role of 3 account managers, even though I was just me. I was actually an engineer. And I became the second-ranked salesperson in an organization of 1,200 people simply because I wasn't a good salesperson simply because I was more productive. I found the 20% of things in each of those accounts that would produce 80% of results. And because of that, 20%, 20%, 20%, I worked about 60% as much as everybody else. I worked about 35 hours a week when everybody else was working about 60. And I produced 160 times the results. 160% the results, right? And that's why I was the second ranked salesperson in that organization, all right? What you need to realize is you need to focus more of your time on the handful of things that produce the biggest results. Find those things. If you were to work 1 day a week, now end up working 4 days a week on just those things. So the third and final thing that I want to tell you about the 80-20 rule is, in the end, I don't call work work and play play. That's Russell Brunson, in case you were wondering. I don't call work work and play play. It's all just life, right? So you need to make sure that you're implementing the 80-20 rule in your day-to-day personal life as well. I want you to think about this, all right? The top 20% of your stressors cause 80% of your stress. So how do you get rid of the top 20% of your stressors? Maybe it's the top 20% of people that cause you stress in life. You may need to limit your interactions with them. Or maybe it's the things that you're doing in your career. Maybe you need to learn how to offload that or delegate that better. The top 20% of your stressors will cause 80% of your stress. Now let's think about it from a health and wellness standpoint, all right? If you're an entrepreneur, I'm gonna be honest, you don't need to be a fitness model. You don't need to spend 2 hours in the gym taking care of yourself every day. You wanna focus on the top 20% that actually produce results, right? What are the things that you can focus on, the workouts that you need to do on a weekly basis, how you need to eat regularly to make sure that you're in tip-top shape, you have great energy, you have great wellness, but you don't need to become a fitness model. You don't need to have 12-pack abs and biceps the size of mountains, right? You want to make sure that you're focused on your health and wellness enough to make sure that you're fit, you're healthy, you have great energy, but you don't need to focus on it to the point of being in peak physical condition so that you can compete or something like that, right? And this even comes down to education. I learned something called photo reading a couple years back, right? Now, when I photo read, it's a form of reading that really integrates your subconscious mind, but it allows me to read a book that might normally take me 10 hours in closer to 1 to 1.5 hours, right? And when I read that book using the photo reading method, I get about 80% retention. Again, less than 20% of the time going through it, but 80% of the retention. So I've even taken my education methodologies to making sure that I'm as efficient as possible to make sure that I'm getting the most out of it, right? And the last thing that I'll say around this is, make sure that in your free time, find the top 20% of things that bring you the most joy, that make you the happiest, all right? And spend 80% of your free time on those specific things. I guarantee your life will be infinitely better if you start to do this, rather than spending 80% on your free time around mundane things that don't actually bring you joy, all right? Spend the time on the things that actually matter. In the end, we're all given the same number of hours in every single day, but what you choose to do with those hours and whether they produce the results that you want, more money, more impact, more joy, more meaning, more freedom, is entirely up to you. So you need to leverage the 80-20 principle and make sure that you're spending 80% of your time on the 20% of things that actually matter. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, hit the like button below and let me know, and comment below if you want me to cover anything specific in the future. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel by hitting the subscribe button below to never miss another great video. I'll see you in there.